Do you know how you break a wild horse? You have to throw caution to the wind, you throw the saddle on his back, you hop on and you hang on. And when he bucks, you grit your teeth and you hold on tighter. And when he knocks you off, you immediately get right back on. And eventually that horse will get tired, that horse will get bored, and that's when he's broken. But my problem with Bryan Danielson is I know now. He won't get tired. He won't get bored. I knew he had the technical ability. I knew he was smart. I knew he had the stamina, the cardio, but I didn't know that when I hit him in the head as hard as I could, I didn't know that he would eventually be able to get back up.
I will say this, something that I learned in the 60-minute match about Hangman, is that you're not gonna break him. I thought, man, I'm gonna drag him into deep waters and he's really gonna drown, he's gonna suffocate, and my style is suffocating. His heart never quit. That doesn't mean that I won't make his lungs quit, and that I won't make his air passages quit, that he won't be able to breathe, that he won't pass out. There's just some things no amount of heart is gonna fix.
A lot of times in wrestling, we talk about power and we talk about muscles. We don't talk enough about endurance, and we don't talk enough about cardiovascular training. And I think that the world champion, Hangman Adam Page, proved that he has that great cardiovascular training and he can go a long way if need be.
I kicked your ass for 60 minutes, and if anybody should be AEW champion, it should be me.
By sticking with Hangman Adam Page for the full 60 minutes, Bryan Danielson proved he's one of the top 5, maybe top 3 wrestlers in the world. Hangman Adam Page, by sticking with one of the top 3 wrestlers in the world for 60 minutes, proved that not only is he AEW World Champion, but he may be the best wrestler in the world.
There was a huge percentage of the match where I had the upper hand, where I was in complete control. There was the moment where he's outside, he's bleeding on the floor, and the doctor has to check on him. And I'm in the ring doing jumping jacks because I never get tired.
You took me past 30, you took me past 40 and past 50. You dragged me out into deep waters, I'll give you that. And you chomped away and you tried to hold me under, but in the final seconds, the ones that counted more than the rest, I swam.
If the first match between Hangman and Danielson went 60 minutes and 5 seconds, then Hangman might have won it.
You know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, he hit you with the buckshot lariat right before the bell rang. And yeah, but his arm wasn't even at full power.
There's gotta be a rematch for this. This has been a defining moment in our promotion.
As we saw in the first match, the champion has the advantage. If it goes to a time limit draw, the champion retains. But now, that advantage is out the window.
If we keep the time limit and you want judges, sure, that's fine. Let's get some old guys some paydays, huh?
With the 3 judges at ringside, if this goes to a time limit draw, it's out of both competitors' hands.
I have spilled far too much blood for this. I have given way too much of myself for this, to have some old prick come sit in the seat at ringside and tell me I'm not good enough, to tell me I'm not a champion, to tell me I'm a B+ player. That's horseshit.
I've called matches before where there have been judges, and I think it's smart to have 3 judges because you're always going to have a tiebreaker. It's either going to be 2-1 or 3-0.
You can literally feel the AEW World title get elevated no matter who wins this match, guys.
It's intriguing for the fans to think about leading into the match. Who could it be? What is their judging system? What's the point system? All those things. I think it's a recipe for chaos.
This adds a completely new dimension to not just this World Championship match, but this rivalry between champion and challenger.
Everybody will see and everybody will know that the true AEW World Heavyweight Champion is Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson's got his game down. He knows exactly what he's going to do in any situation.
I have always felt, since Bryan Danielson has arrived in AEW, that he would be our next champion. And I do believe that he is going to be the champion in AEW before 2022 is done.
There is a certain amount of prestige being in the first AEW World Heavyweight Championship match that airs on TBS. But to me, there's no added pressure. You know, I don't feel pressure anymore.
Bryan Danielson came here to become the champion. He's accomplished everything in the world that he wants to accomplish, except one thing. So I'm thinking that we'll get a match of the year again, and I think that's going to be Bryan Danielson leading the way.
I'm somebody who wants to wrestle every week, and if I'm the champion, I just don't want it to be a belt. I don't want it to just be a title. When you're the world champion, it's a symbol that you're the best, and to be the best, you need to defend that championship on a regular basis against the best people in the world.
And the first match between Hangman and Danielson was an instant classic, and there's absolutely no reason that this match, the rematch, won't live up to those expectations.
So the only option that I have for January the 5th is an option you don't have when you're breaking a horse. I'm gonna have to beat his ass as fast as possible.
So if the question is, can Hangman Adam Page beat Bryan Danielson in less than 1 hour?
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do what I do best, which is break people down.
The answer will be yes.
The rematch that the world is waiting for. Hangman and Danielson, Part 2. Who will advance to the finals of the TBS Championship Tournament to face Ruby Soho to crown the inaugural champion?
It's been an intense rivalry and one that's kind of gotten out of control.
What was with the masked woman you had attack Thunder Rosa in your match?
What?
Mark Sterling getting up in the face of the referee Paul Turner. Oh, Thunder Rosa. Oh my! Thunder!
What the hell is going on here?
Thunder Rosa is out cold!
That is a question for my lawyer, Mark Sterling, who currently, obviously, is not present. He is too busy setting up for my reign as your first TBS champ.
Jade Cargill will advance to face Ruby Soho on Dynamite.
What in the hell have we just seen?
Next question.
Thunder Rosa knows she got robbed. Look at this hooded figure. That's Mercedes Martinez.
She's one of the best women wrestlers in the entire world is this woman.
And is she on the payroll of Smart Mark Sterling? What is happening here?
The thing I don't understand, Jade, you've got so many natural talents, but for some reason, you got somebody holding your hand every step of the way. I came out there to even the odds and make sure that you know exactly who you're messing with.
The best part here, Ruby, I'm still undefeated. And you think you will snap that streak? You gotta be kidding me.
Nobody is gonna get in the way of me becoming the first ever TBS champion. Not Mark Sterling, not Mercedes Martinez, and sure as hell not you.
I am so tired of these backyard flea market wrestlers thinking they have a chance at my belt.
Jade, I've been watching you a lot since I got here. One thing I've learned is things have come pretty easy to you.
Microphone 1 2 1 2, pack the whole place out, watch what I do.
I have everything that you and all those women in that locker room could never be. I mean, just look at me. I scream money. And you're nothing but a reject.
Thing is, though, that struggle builds character. You see, you've never had to pick out change out of your cup holder to make sure that you could get gas to the show.
I feel so sorry for you because this looks like nothing but another loss under your belt.
You've never had your head split open and to super glue it shut, only to drive 12 hours to bartend so that you could pay your rent.
I am the one that will make these nobodies stop flipping through their channel just to see my fine ass.
You've never had to make that struggle, Jade. That's been 11 years of my life.
11 years, 10 years, 9 years, whatever, it does not matter. The feeling that I will have when I get that TBS title is nothing less than deserving.
At the end of the day, this isn't personal. This is way more important than anything else I've done in my career.
Difference between you and I is, I don't know what it's like to be a runaway. I have always been here, right at home. And this is my show.
Didn't matter if it was you or anybody else. Whoever stands between me and becoming the first ever TBS champion, God save that bitch.
When Rio was AEW Women's World Champion, the first person she defended her championship against was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
She's got it locked in. Oh, Rio won! Wait.
Wow! Rio was victorious then, and the next time, and the next time after that. Rio has Britt's number, and I think that's got Britt Baker shook to her core.
Dr. Britt Baker has never beaten Rio. She hasn't got it done, bottom line.
Rio was given the opportunity at Rampage in the Black Friday Deals match, and she pinned the AEW Women's World Champion.
Oh, Rio, wow, look at this! She got her! She's got her! Oh, she got the
Rio
pin!
wins!
She got the pin! What an upset!
And now Rio is guaranteed a shot at the AEW Women's World Championship.
Not only did Rio steal a win, she pissed me off.
She sent Jamie Hayter after Rio, and Rio was able to persevere, she was able to prevail, and now is coming into Battle of the Belts at 100%. And I think Rio's got a very realistic chance of becoming a two-time AEW Women's World Champion.
Listen, I love Rio. From the first time I saw her come out of the very first Dynamite, I just think she's sensational.
Wrestling Rio is like wrestling a slinky. She's very bendable, and that creates unique problems.
Even though Britt says that she's the best, that she's the most dominant champion, if she's this scared of a challenger, can that really be true?
I hate to say this to Britt, but I guess she's going to hear this, that I do think Rio can win the title. She's beaten Britt before, and that confidence, I think that is going to serve her well when it comes to this world title match against Britt Baker at Battle for the Belts.
Britt's pissed. I think we'll see the most aggressive Dr. Baker that we've seen in quite some time.
If I know Britt Baker very well, she will use this anger to her advantage.
Bodies over bodies, I'm the cause of that. This my Coliseum, I'm in charge of that. You can smell the havoc in the air. I'm the leader that they cheer at the cost to be the boss of that.
All of you know there's nothing more lethal than a pissed off DMD. This is my division.
Britt Baker has really elevated the women's title.
There's no doubt that Britt Baker is the face of the women's division. Some would argue she's the face of the brand.
All the women in this division strive not only to become champion, but to be the person that beats Britt Baker.
It's a big fight field right here, TNT title. Right here on TNT. Sammy, he said, listen, this is not a couple of years ago. I'm not some punk kid. I'm the friggin' TNT champion here. Pressure's on you, Cody, not me.
These two men, they are worlds apart, different in their style. But they got one thing in common, and that's heart.
How much does the TNT championship mean to Sammy Guevara?
No!
And Cody Rhodes!
Oh, no! Oh, God.
Rhodes! Cody covers! Oh, no!
Wow.
He muscles him up! GTH!
Wow, I can't believe you won the match.
Oh,
my God! Whoa!
Sammy up to the top.
Come on, Sammy.
630 onto the knees of Cody Rhodes.
That might be The beginning of the end!
Second crossroads in succession. Tire Driver 98.
And new TNT champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
I was really surprised Cody Rhodes became the TNT champion for the third time because I thought Sammy Guevara had just too much momentum.
Sammy Guevara was on such a roll as TNT champion. Sammy Guevara is the first man to defeat Miro in AEW.
I don't think Sammy Guevara was mentally ready. Sammy, young, impetuous, exuberant, highly talented. But as all young guys do sometimes, they get in a little bit of a hurry. They take that one unnecessary chance that they didn't need to take. And it becomes crystal clear in hindsight.
Cody's always going to give a former champion his rematch. Cody is going to be a fighting champion. I don't think there's any question. That's the way he's been. That's the way he grew up.
This rematch, I think, is a must-win situation for Sammy Guevara. Not just to reclaim the TNT championship, but to prove that he can hang with somebody at the level of Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to go with Cody winning the match because I think it's very difficult to dethrone a champion right after he's won a title.
Sammy's now got the benefit of hindsight, and I think that he will prepare better. I think he'll know more what to expect, and I'll be shocked if Sammy doesn't regain the TNT title.
This third time around, I'm not sure what Cody has left to prove. I think this is all about cementing his legacy as one of the greatest champions in not just AEW, but in pro wrestling.
Here's what I know about this match. Both men will do all they can to top the last match. Anything less than that is unacceptable.